There's one big question that I wish was asked more frequently, and that is, am I ready to gentle a Mustang? Now, this is different from horse ownership because I feel like the question of am I ready to own a Mustang is a little bit more broad, because I find once a Mustang is gentled, it's kind of like any other horse. And of course there are requirements and certain things that you should have to have or do in order to own a horse, but I find Mustang gentling as a different subject. There's definitely a few things at my top priority list that someone should have or should be able to do in order to gentle a Mustang. Now, this can be for a Mustang makeover competition. This can be just for kind of their own personal project, like they've always wanted to own a Mustang. Now, if you are interested in doing a Mustang makeover, that is more on a strict timeline, so you want to make sure that you're kind of able to devote the time you need to that horse for that 100 or 100-day training period. And if it's just a gentling project on your own, you can be a little bit more free with it, but I would say that you don't want to just get the Mustang and have it just sit around. When they do sit around for a while, of course, unless it's an injury that they're recovering from, it doesn't do much for their brain. So I look at it as, if these horses are super scared and nervous around people, rather than letting them live scared and nervous around people, I'd rather kind of jump right in and start getting them comfortable with me. That way they don't have to live with anxiety and being nervous and all of that negative energy. I'm going to talk about facility requirements first to know if you're ready. So you do have to have 6-foot tall fencing. Of course, unless you're getting a yearling or a burro, then the requirements are a little bit different. For anything 2 years or older, the fencing needs to be 6 foot tall. And I believe it needs to be at least a 20-foot by 20-foot minimum dimension-wise. You need to have access to quite a bit of water to make sure they always have a supply of that. And the shelter and shade requirements vary by region, so you may want to go on the BLM site. It'll also give you a full entire list of all the requirements you need to get a completely feral Mustang. The other thing you need to make sure you have is a stock trailer or access to a stock trailer. And I guess I should say just a trailer that is a step up. You don't want to use a ramp, and you want to make sure it has one door. As far as facility requirements, I'll put the link to the BLM site with all of the requirements in the description of this. I covered the main big ones, but when you apply to adopt this Mustang, you have to make sure that you meet all of these requirements. Now, the trickier side of it. Are you ready, as in kind of mentally, physically, all of those aspects? In addition to being able to give that horse a consistent schedule, you need to make sure that you're taking care of yourself and you're keeping yourself in shape. A lot of people talk about this Mustang gentling as a big journey and a big eye-opener, and it kind of changes their life because the horse really shows you who you are. It's like a reflection of yourself and how you handle things. A lot of people have found that it helps create patience with them, creates understanding, really mellows them out, and gets them thinking on a whole different level. This is the biggest, most important piece of knowing if you're ready to gentle a Mustang. Are you willing to ask for help? And are you willing to be open-minded about methods and techniques? Every horse is so different. You've heard me say it a million times. None of them follow the same exact method. Again, you're doing a disservice to the horse if you're like, I'm doing everything in this order at this pace. You kind of have to go, I don't like saying at the horse's pace, because then sometimes people just crawl along with progress, but I'd say with the horse's style. You have to have adjustability, and you have to be willing to reach out and ask for help. Ahead of time, you're going to do your research to find trainers in your area who already feel comfortable working with wild Mustangs, and you may not even need to reach out to them at all, but it's good to know that they're there, and it's good to communicate with them that you may need help at some point down the line with this project. There is no shame in asking for help. I ask for help all the time. I'm always talking with all my friends and other trainers and kind of brainstorming different ideas when I come up with a new tricky thing with a horse, and I'm like, this method worked before, but I wonder if there's a way I can do it better that the horse will enjoy more. Don't just get a Mustang because you think that the journey and the story of it is super cool. It is, but they're a long-term commitment. It's not always going to be a fantasy fairy tale, okay? There's going to be some moments of training that get a little bit hairy. You have to teach them how to understand to give to those pressures, mainly for their own safety. And you have to have the mindset that you're not going to quit or give up when it gets tough. Consistency is the most important thing. I asked my followers on Instagram, and a lot of them tend to already own Mustangs or are interested in training them. And honestly, when I asked them, how did you know you were ready for your first Mustang? The majority of the answers were this. So you don't always know when you're completely ready. Sometimes you have to take that leap. The other really important thing is, of course, making sure you can afford the horse. So that means making sure you have all the proper feed you need for the Mustang, the hay, being able to take care of the farrier costs if they need chiropractor. You know, there's a lot of costs involved in it. This should create at least a little bit of a guideline on if you're ready for that Mustang or not. I know a lot of it is situational and everyone's different, and there's not strict bullet points of like, you've had to have haltered 100 horses or done this or this or this. There's not that. It is a very free, open journey. I just wanted to talk a little bit about this because I am about to pick up for the 2022 Fort Worth Extreme Mustang Makeover. Tomorrow is Mustang pickup. Oh boy. And I'm hitching up tonight. That way it's easy to leave at 2 in the morning. I'm pretty excited, honestly. I'm starting at Camille's place in Texas. I'm gonna be here for 2 weeks, then I travel on the road the whole time, and then the last 2 weeks will be at Camille's as well. I'm really excited to see what Mustang I'm gonna get this time. I have no idea what HMA, no idea what gender, age, any of that, so it's all gonna be a big surprise tomorrow morning. Oh, hi. I can't even see you. Camille and there, Ellen. Dark blob. It's like 2:30 and we're gonna go to Oklahoma.
Well, we're filming for 3 different projects at the same time.
Nice, Ellen. Ellen's just gonna jump right in.
Say hi, Sam. I want this.
Hey, say hi, Ellen.
Hi.
Say hi. Hi. So Camille and I are working on a very behind-the-scenes project, and Ellen, and right now we are filming for a little bit of it, which is why the YouTube is a little bit different, and I'm having my virtual demo, so it's hard to gather all the footage for this, but I'll show you kind of a sneak peek at something we're working on from a distance. That's all I can really show right now because I didn't get this approved by Camille, and this is a project that we definitely both need to make sure that we're careful about what we released so far and we're on the same page with everything, so that's the most I can show you guys. But we bought a bunch of new sound equipment, and we are, you can see all the Mustangs in the back, we are getting ready for a really big project. So this is one of the long-term holding pastures, and I'd say it's not too shabby. They've got a couple different sections, I'm assuming for either different ages or which herds kind of get along. You see that little center divider up there, but they all, and I wish my camera gave me better quality, but they all look like they are in really good shape right now. Pretty cool.
Yes, I know.
Yes. So she'll be here shortly.
Okay, thank you so much.
Well, how How'd you get to the end of the line?
The line was formed before y'all sent me over.
Okay.
We weren't paying attention.
Well, the adults are on that side. Yeah. Well, although I think it might be curving around.
Hello.
Shut up, Camille. Priorities. My phone takes priority over that camera. Yeah, sure. Switched out. Why is that? Okay. Yeah. What did you say? What happened?
My tag number is 0000.
What? There's no way.
Me, right?
Well, I don't know because it's my second horse. The first one got switched out.
Switched out. Did she say why?
Could have been a couple of reasons. Okay, thank you.
You're joking.
What was the first horse?
Is this real? That's gotta be.
So we figured out our picks. We have the trailer right now and we're in line. There's like 1 or 2 more trailers ahead of us. And what are your initial thoughts on your horse?
I'm a little nervous about the Utah HMA.
And she's older too, right?
Yes, she's 6 years old. She's from Mount Eleanor, which I've never heard of, and nobody I've asked has ever heard of it. So that's interesting.
We'll find out. We'll have to do some digging and research.
Mhm.
I had a interesting draw. My first draw was scratched for unknown reasons. Could be because the horse is injured, could be because it didn't really fit the bunch. I don't know. It scratched though, so I never even got to see that one. And then I got assigned a really weird tag number, and the horse on paperwork is 12 hands. I have not seen the horse yet. I don't know what we're gonna do, but that's kind of where we're at right now. We'll find out, I guess, probably in like 5 minutes or so. And Camille got a draw pretty similar to Ellen's, I think 2 years younger.
Yeah, I think she was 4. Choke chair, Utah.
Yeah. So this is the exciting part, I think.
No halters.
Average Mustang.
Hey, children. This one's Ellen's. I don't know. Mine looks so young.
He looks like he's... They do, don't they? Yeah. If someone were wanting to like gentle a Mustang or own their first Mustang, not one that's like broke and already gentled and normal, rideable, whatnot. If someone's wanting to either do a makeover or gentle their first Mustang, like what would be the specific requirements? For me, I was like, the person has to have an open mind and be willing to reach out and talk to other trainers and kind of be open to build on what specific methods the horse needs. Now,
I would say to have taught a horse all the basic groundwork before, and you preferably more than one. So know how to teach heeling the hindquarters, know how to teach heeling the forequarters, know how to teach lunging, know how to problem solve through all of those.
do you think they should know how to communicate with body language before they get a Mustang?
They should know what a drive line is and how to push a horse forward, how to ask them to stop, how to ask them to change directions. That's yeah, part of the basic groundwork that I mentioned earlier.
I've worked with horses through some stressful situations and taken them new places and worked on desensitizing them and really learned how to read that body language and predict what they're about to do and try and keep their stress levels down.
If they don't know how to teach basic groundwork to a horse, not just do it on a horse that already knows it, but teach it to a horse that doesn't know it.
Right, like kind of troubleshoot and work through problems and understand when to release.
The ability to read a horse and communicate to a horse effectively and troubleshoot.
Right? Okay. Are we ready? I think so. Ellen, are you taking photos?
Yeah.
1 second. Okay, we're rolling. You good? Yeah. Did we close the gate at the front? Yeah.
Yes.
What are you doing? He's like, I don't know.
What if you just grabbed onto that lead rope, he'd give up on life and just become domestic?
I don't know about that.
Look.
Good morning. Are you ready to have your first session today? I gave him like half a bale of hay last night and it's all gone. We gotta run a few errands first, so I was only gonna give him a little bit if he needed it, and he definitely needed it. He drank a little bit of water too.